This is the first lecture of a series on ideologies and human freedom. I will have several lectures as an introduction so that I get the basic material online as the foundation of what we're talking about. And then later on I will go to specific ideologies. We're talking about ideologies and human freedoms. There's a sequence that I want to call to your attention that begins with beliefs. And it goes to belief systems and then to ideologies. And I will be explaining this quite explicitly throughout all the lectures of how beliefs go to belief systems and then to ideologies. A belief is a solitary generalization that someone makes. And in terms of science, it may be based on data. For instance, the speed of light, or that the age of the earth is 4,550,000,000 years old. And they provide in science for that belief, that basic assumption, evidence. For instance, the age of the earth is drawn from when meteorites hit the earth, and we can date them through a lead-uranium process that I really do not understand, but I trust is the truth. And why do we use meteorites? Is because the assumption is that the earth was formed by meteorites hitting and then circling around the sun. Beliefs are these easy generalizations are solitary. A person can say, I believe in God, and there's no evidence granted other than some sacred scripture talking about a famous person like Abraham or Jesus or St. Paul or Augustine or some hero of the past. It could be Muhammad and it could be Moses. But they use an authority statement, I believe in God. We can also make generalizations about people, whether or not they are good or they are bad in their essence. For instance, I believe that it's good to have your life given to something higher than yourself, broader than yourself. And by that I mean something that will benefit humanity. That is a belief. Now we move to belief systems. And as I will probably say several times during the course of these lectures, a person who has an original belief is different from those who develop the system. The system is usually developed, as I say, there's a creative person who comes up with a basic belief, but next generation there are always anal retentives who will put this belief along with a bunch of other beliefs and make a system. It's like they'll say, okay, you've got the toe bone, is connected to the foot bone, is connected to the ankle bone, is connected to the shin bone, and hear the word of the Lord. That's what an anal retentive will do, using that old funny song about the head bone connected to the neck bone, connected to the shoulder bone. Anal retentive is kind of legalist and develops a system. St. Paul, for instance, was connecting a lot of things together, and he became the first theologian of the Christian church. And Moses was connecting a lot of things together, and he followed Abraham, who set up the belief. The belief was that the Jews were the chosen people. Now that is one of the most incredible assumptions in history, that one group is chosen by God, another basic belief. And then Moses codified it, made it legal, set up the structures, said the Ten Commandments. And that's what happens. A belief goes to a belief system, which goes to an ideology. Now remember, this series is about ideologies. And that is where a belief has become a system, has become absolute. An ideology is rampant with narcissism. An ideology says, this system is right, it's true, it's good, it's beautiful, it's the thing to do in life. And if you don't believe it, then in some systems like Islam or Christianity, then you are bound to hell, eternal separation from God, the ultimate abandonment. And so about belief becomes a belief system, can become an ideology. And I say that ideologies ruin human freedom. They take what is an assumption, a belief, they codified it, and then they made it absolute. And this can be true of, say, economics. I believe in the free market. The free market is then attached to a lot of other things. Government is bad. Regulation is bad. You should just let it alone, and everything will work out. Now, that has become an ideology that possesses some people who will take the belief, I believe in the free market, I believe in capitalism, made it into a system, and then it becomes a destructive thing when it's the only truth forever and always for all of humanity. And it can be incredibly destructive because it has no regulation, as the way some people would put it. They do not want any government. They do not think that you should help people, as is characteristic of all the three monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And so they've codified it and they have made it absolute. And I might say that monotheism of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam is easily made into a narcissistic faith where I'm going to heaven and you're going to hell. I know the truth and you believe lies. I believe the world was created in 6,000 years ago according to the Holy Scripture. And if you believe in science, you're anti-God, anti-truth, and you will be going to the bad place after you die. And so we move from a belief to a belief system to an ideology. So in my definitions here, ideologies are poisonous. They are destructive. They're destructive to the identity of an individual, and they're destructive to a society, and as we will get down further on the line, they can be destructive to the planet Earth and all life upon it. Now I will present a different option from an original belief or assumption to a belief system to an ideology, but I want to spend a lot of time understanding these destructive systems that hurt individuals, hurt groups, and can eventually, if they're not tamed, hurt the planet Earth. So stick with me. We've got a good journey ahead.